you afterwards, so I'm just thinking in terms of time. But excellent points. Okay.
Thank you very much, David. Yeah, I don't want to waste anyone's time here and talk about things that are unnecessary. So I'd like to just get a bit of a gauge of where you guys are in particular. Can I just see from a show of hands, like, how many of you actually know what this Masi Pumalele and Fishhook LSDF is about? Just from show of hands. Okay, great. So you guys are pretty well informed then. I would then like to know how many of you were or still intend to be DA voters? By a show of hands. I used to be a DA voter many years ago, but that's why we started the Cape Independence Party, because we were just so disillusioned. Well, wow, okay, I feel like I don't really need to say too much more, because you guys get it then. You guys get it. The concern then would be all of your neighbors, because we've been doing this. I started the Cape Independence Party in 2007, so I've been doing this for 18 years. This particular issue is very close to my heart. A few months ago, I was physically thrown out of council for fighting this exact issue in Gordons Bay. They didn't like the words I was using. Ma'am, you spoke about 1991, 1992. This is a point that I wanted to raise to everyone here today. People talk about Masi Pumalele as if it's this place that we have some almost moral obligation to build all of these houses for, provide free electricity for, provide free water for. David and I were having a lovely personal chat before this event started. He's asking, do you have any children? I said, unfortunately I don't, but I would love to. I really would love to start a family and a big family. But life is not easy. Life is not easy for many. As I'm sure there's many people here who might have one child or no children. Maybe you've got 2 kids. Maybe you wanted to have 3 children. Maybe you wanted to have 4 or 5. We are creating an economic incentive for people who weren't born in the Cape, who have arrived here. This is the term I used in council, which got me thrown out. Economic migrants. It's the correct legal term. It's the dictionary definition. We have economic migrants coming into our communities because there's a financial incentive for there to come here and get free housing, free electricity, free water, while people in Ocean View, just down the road, just don't unfortunately happen to be the right skin color. And this is an absolute travesty. It's something that we have fought against for 18 years. And I think David really summed it up perfectly. If any of you haven't seen the videos that he's done on this issue, or his website, South Peninsula News, please go check it out, because I think it just sums it up better than I will be able to do for you here now. What I would like to do is, considering you've all reached the point that you understand that you're not going to be DA voters anymore, that is a critical point. Now, it doesn't matter if we get the DA to 49 or 48 or 47, even better, 45%. Then literally, I mean, Peter van Verlen and myself, we work together in Sub-Council 8 in Gordons Bay. Councillor Carl Bowden is fighting issues in Sub-Council 7 and Sub-Council 3. We intend to fight tooth and nail this issue right here in the Deep South. And we will do whatever we can do in council. And Peter and I often, we put our heads in our hands, because we just go, we raise these objections. So let me just, if you're not aware of something called the Municipal Planning Amendment Bylaw. So we received this a few weeks ago, it's about 2 council meetings ago. It had 11,628 pages. We received it on a Friday, just so you guys know what we deal with in council. 11,628 pages. Of those 11,628 pages, 10,991 pages were from public participation, and over 90% of them were opposed to it. Councillor Carl Bowden spoke on this issue, objected to it, fought against it, raised it. What happens? The lady earlier asked, how much power does the DA have to fight against these things? Sorry, the DA councillors, how much power do they have to fight against these things? 0. If they don't want to be out of a job, if they don't want to make sure that their pensions are paid, that they still can afford to pay their rent, etc., they do whatever the DA hierarchy tells them to do. From top down, they enforce DA policy. So I'll openly admit, as much as I attack the DA and we've attacked the DA, I've got many friends within the DA who privately take us aside and say, you know what, Jack, we actually support Cape independence, or at least we support decentralization. We agree with you. We can't pay 320 billion rand in tax and only get 75 billion rand back. We want to fight these issues like you, but they can't because they're trapped inside this DA system. Now, the only way that we're going to break that, and it's literally, David said it, Phil said it, Rob said it, I'm saying it now, I'm sure Peter will also say it, is that we have to get the DA underneath 50%. This is 100% a political issue. And the lower we get them down, the better we can do, the more we can hold them to account. So the power is all in your hands right now. So next year, November, is when the elections are going to be. You guys need to spread the word. You're clearly very on the ball. You all know what's happening. I've been to many meetings where there's a lot more DA supporters and the penny hasn't quite dropped. But everything that have made you guys open your eyes and see why the DA is the cause of the problem is that wisdom you need to share when you go out shopping, when you go to your church meetings, when you have a braai with friends, when you go to the school to pick up your kids, etc. Share this message. Otherwise, Masiphumelele is going to come over the hills and this place is going to be done and we won't have a future for our children. Thank you very much.
Can I ask something? The questions to Jack, we're going to take about 3, is that all right? And then we carry on. Yeah.
I have a very interesting question. I was clear in police. Every politician is voted in by the people of South Africa. Whether it's a Democrat, different demographic, they must be voted in by the people of South Africa. If you do not do your job, or you neglect to promote the best interests of the people of South Africa, or to function in the best interests, why are they not trying to hide you? Why has that never been brought in Parliament or in provincial parliament, that somebody that steals money or doesn't do their job properly or doesn't do their job in the best interest of the majority of the people, they try to hide you?
Okay, well, I think the Cape Independence Party's views on this wouldn't be aligned with the DA's views on this, but there's a reason why our name is what it is and why we're fighting for Cape exit. Because first of all, South Africa is not a natural country. It was forced upon us in 1910. So you actually have this very strange situation. You use the term South Africans. They were all democratically elected by South Africans. But what is a South African? In our view, a Cape Townian or a Kaapenaar is very different to someone from the Transkei or from KwaZulu-Natal or from Gauteng. No disrespect. We want to have good working relationships with our friends and neighbors and partners in all of those territories. But there's a difference in political aspirations. You can see this in voting patterns. In the last 31 years, the Western Cape and the Northern Cape has consistently, every single election, voted against the ANC and in favor of parties which are anti-ANC or perceived as anti-ANC. We see the DA as ANC light, but I think only recently have people begun to see it that way. But parties like the Cape Independence Party, parties like the Freedom Front Plus, parties like the ACDP, etc., are parties that have culturally a different value system to the ANC, to the EFF, to the MK, etc. So the values you want to see in voters who vote for parties like the ANC and EFF and MK are not the types of voters who share the same ideological cultural values as people who in the majority call the Cape their home. So from our view, we have an issue where we need to ensure that, sorry. Getting the DA underneath 50% so we can stop Masiphumelele being expanded.